In my first year of conducting drug risk assessments, there was this case that I got. This guy was a 17-year-old, big guy, full of arm tattoos. It was a bit daunting lah. So basically, I give him my introduction, and whatever you say here will remain confidential in this room lah, okay? But then when I went in, I spoke to him throughout that 2 over hours. This guy was so mild-mannered, he was so soft-spoken, and I later realised that all those arm tattoos were just to cover his self-harm scars. He was hoping that someone would ask about it or show some sort of concern, but no one ever did. I recall at the end of it, I felt bad and I felt like my assumptions were being challenged, and moving forward I was like, yeah, never again. I'll just go in and see and hear from them rather than have all these judgments or fears before I go. I'm Claudine, I'm a psychologist with CNB, and as psychologists, we work with our youth, we work with members of the public and also our own CNB colleagues to support the CNB mission. Drug risk assessments are basically interviews with our first-time youth drug offenders between 16 and 20 years old to understand them a bit better, their background, what made them try drugs, and eventually to figure out what is the risk level like also, so that we can recommend an appropriate program for their emplacement after the interview.
Hi, is this Mrs. Tan? Yeah, I'm Claudine, I'm calling from CNB.
After each interview, we call their next of kin to corroborate some information and to hear from them. What are their perspective of the situation, of the case and of the youth also, so that we get a more well-rounded perspective of the situation.
Thank you so much. If you have any other concerns, contact his investigation officer.
When I wanted to be a psychologist, I wanted that human interaction, I wanted that one-to-one. When I came in and there was DRAs, there was interviews, there were counselling cases, then I'm like, oh, this is really right up my alley lah. Do you have time for a bit? Okay, I just need some help with my current case. Sometimes when it's confusing or we can't really figure it out, then we ask our colleagues. Sometimes you come out from a very disturbing case and you just need someone to tell you that, oh, actually, it's okay, you handled it well, things like that. Or you might need help to see things from a different perspective instead of just your point of view. Back then, I was trying to defend the youth. I want to give her a second chance, even though the risk was quite high. My colleague was telling me, oh, I think you're getting a bit sweet already, and you were trying to empathize with her. It really struck me when that day itself, the IO told me, oh, she relapsed already. I think it reminded me that sometimes when you feel a bit stuck and you feel like you cannot make an objective decision anymore, then there are people you can go to who can give that perspective. The top 2, right? Yeah. Nothing really changes. I think research is quite a core part of being a psychologist. It's important that we make sure what we're doing is up to date. Besides trying to figure out why they do drugs for the first time, but also to understand what are the contributing factors that make them relapse into drugs again in future. As much as I say the work is on the ground, right? But you do struggle to see outcomes sometimes because some projects are so long drawn. To see results, it might take you data from a few years later. So one main challenge is really figuring out, is what you do really correct? Is there proof of your success lah? I think paint by numbers resembles work here to some extent because before you finish it, right, it will feel like it's very random. But then when all the colours come together, and if you think of each colour as a different portfolio or different division, then at the end of the day, they are just contributing to a bigger cohesive picture that whatever we do actually contributes to that bigger mission of keeping Singapore drug-free.